Welcome! There is a game where faceless warriors join forces to fight faceless giants and faceless demons. All because a bird died of old age. This is the saga of a game called Ashen. If the name sounds strange, it will make sense in a second, but the base concept is a lot easier to explain. It's Dark Souls mechanics with Absolver's art style, but not without its unique twist on both. How so? Well, let's start with the art style. Minimalistic, clean textures, nobody has a face, except for the most unique characters in the game. Weird, but okay. After the character creation, here comes the lore. 9 realms in darkness are suddenly awakened by the light of the Ashen, an ancient bird from beyond the stars, that eventually dies of old age. Of course, if that was it, wouldn't make sense. When it died, its final breath unleashed 3 ages of light. First, the age of the demons hungry for light, followed by the age of the big mummy giants, and lastly, the age of men, which of course brought on a great war. However, what really matters is that the end of the last age is prophesied to bring darkness, but also the Ashen's rebirth. But as this one-armed giant explains, the darkness is actually the demons from the first age trying to take the Ashen's life for good. Kinda obvious, it's up to me to stop that. Let me grab this hatchet and see if I can get a closer look at the Ashen's return. Oh wait, first it seems I have to try out the combat, seeing this gentleman isn't really concerned that an astral being is about to come back to life. Might as well grab this shield while I'm at it, I guess. Just a side note, this is one of the weirdest tutorial sections I've ever played. It's only a couple of fights and then running towards the light to make sure I watch the fireworks on time. Behold, the Ashen is reborn and the world is covered in light. Now I need to protect it. So there's a list of things I need to make sure this mission goes well. First, I need to find the tools to make ritual stones work. Those avoid my permanent death. Following my companion's advice, we go to the nearest hobo camp to find the tool. Looting the corpses along the way, I come to terms that unlike similar games where I die a million times by myself, having someone with me does seem to make things a little more fair. Not easy, but fair. It's probably the best about this game. It's constantly trying to trick me into feeling I can take most battles on my own, and then suddenly hits me with an ambush of way too many enemies I could ever fight on my own. Oh, and fun fact, this is also when I learned I can't really swim. I get back to the friendly giant who somehow cleared out all the scavengers, and now we wake up the ritual stone, launching a game-long quest of building a town. Of course, he's ready to send me on another quest, but there's a side quest that is much better. Every single companion will have a journey and will get better as it develops, but that's not why this one mission matters. Recovering a lockbox for this companion has a massive reward, a reusable healing item. Yes, like that flask from that other game, you get the point. This is also when I started noticing the town growing, as some scavengers now live here and sell stuff. But they're not the only people joining this town. There are quests to bring in people to help me out. And as these new companions join me, they offer more details about them and the world, which is a very nice tactic to keep feeding me the lore. It also pushes me further away towards more dangerous grounds, which means death is soon to follow. But again, I do have a ritual stone to come back to. I do lose all the ash I collected up until I died, however, I can track it on the map, unlike that other game where you die a lot. Back to the main mission, it's time to meet someone special, and I even get a cool lantern to look for her. This is the first actual dungeon in the game, so here are my highlights. Chasing a ghost made of shadow, getting jump scared by a giant spider, refilling my reusable health potion, and last but not least, getting jump scared by the first boss. This is Ukoto, and he's one of the Elder Dark, the leaders of the darkness trying to consume all light. He's also highly annoying, mainly because he likes to hide in the walls getting his health back. However, that last companion taught me how to make spears I can throw at him. Does it make him less annoying? No, because he finds other spots to hide in the dark and even eats the light from my lantern to do it. But a little patience and some spears and eventually does end up biting the dust. Or maybe I should say ash, in this case. There, with the demon out of the way, it's finally time to meet the one the giant calls the Mother. And it was easily the most impressive moment in the game. Facing an underground lake, a woman sits playing a lute. She then turns to the water and summons her. The level of detail on this character is crazy, which is so out of place compared to the game's art style. Not to mention,
Big Mommy Mermaid, yes please.
She tells me the story of an artifact that can protect the Ashen from the Elder Dark. but it's broken in half and the first half is with the giants who hate mankind. Well, at least I got a new companion and defeated an Elder Dark. Time to head back to town and figure out what to do. First, it seems the Elder Dark's mask can give me power. Cool. Second, my giant buddy finally set up shop, so now I can upgrade weapons. Then lastly, the lady from the cave can help me craft amulets to boost my skills. I have to admit, it doesn't look like a lot right now. Sure, I could take that health boost, but I don't even have the ash to cover the cost. And I don't even want to look at the cost of Ukado's mask, that's... Anyway, it seems like there are very little options. Good thing I only need to keep doing side quests to unlock more, and eventually I can craft new ones and combine them for serious boosts to my stats. It may feel this is just about chasing upgrades, but this is just the beginning. As I keep advancing from zone to zone, it's easy to notice the effort made so that each feels different. The light dims the farther I get from the Ashen. Exploring and finding secrets is a challenge as some areas are linear but others are very open. And then, as is tradition, there's always new tougher enemies, which means more ambushes. And again, there's the whole matter of following through with the companion's journeys, including the backstory, the useful rewards, but also the contributions to the town's growth. And some contributions are pretty unique. This specific questline opens the path to the next zone, but it includes a couple of very useful rewards. For the first one, I need to take down the giant ruling over this land covered in ash, who likes to hide behind illusions. But he also made the mistake of capturing a sky puppy, and nobody ever hurt sky puppies. To be fair, this boss felt much easier than the first one, but maybe because this time I had some upgrades. Regardless, who cares? He was hurting the sky puppy, so tough luck, he won't be missed. With the giant's magic dissolving after his death, the dragon-like baby is able to gather its strength and break free, even doing me the favor of breaking the way forward for us onto the next area. Now, releasing the baby would have been a reward on its own, but to my surprise, it came back, and it allows me to ride it back to town. Not only is it the cutest thing ever, it's also very convenient because walking all the way back to town is boring. Sadly, it's just a fast travel option, but still, baby dragon! Then the other very useful reward, upgrading the efficiency of the healing potion, which is about to become essential. And like I said before, at this point in the game there are a lot more talisman pieces to choose from, but also I can finally buy Ukado's relic. Oh, and one huge benefit to the town growing is finally getting some storage, seeing I can't sell stuff in this game. Who made that decision? Well, besides the point. It's now time to go back to shore, where I can find the baby dragon's mother, creatures contaminated by some ash disease, and I also find the giants enslaving mankind. This is also the place where the next dungeon is, where the first half of the artifact that can protect the Ashen is being kept. And let me say this, it's not a friendly place. In my case, I had to stop depending on my two-handed axe because I had to hold a lantern to even see where I was headed. I'm not even going to share how many times I died on this place, even with a companion. Though I'll say this, it was challenging and fun to die. Besides, dying is a really good excuse to go back and do something else, like riding a barrel down the river, following up on the other side quest, grinding for more upgrades, trying different weapons, finding the hidden stats upgrades, exploring tombs and caves hidden on the map, or even finding what's hiding below Mama Dragon's belly. I guess what I'm trying to say is, regardless of what I decided to do, I was never bored, and I guess that's what some games fail to achieve. And don't get me wrong, there were some frustrating moments, the control especially. For example, the character will sometimes ignore the direction input and just jump straight up, which left me exposed to attacks when I needed to run. But at the same time, this might have been one of the few games where I can say the animation and movement speed felt right and natural. Pros and cons, ups and downs, at the end of the day, Ashen is an interesting approach when talking about the Dark Souls clones out there, because it clearly does a lot of the same, but then decided to go in several different ways that did work. And as a final note, the story is interesting and connects easily without having to read item descriptions, unlike that other game I just mentioned. And to me, that's just another good reason to play Ashen. Thank you for joining me on the saga of Ashen. One like equals one ride on the Sky Puppy, so hit that thumbs up! This game surprised me a little, so let me ask you a question. What did you think about it? Leave your comment. And just so we're clear, I don't play just try-hard games. Go check the other games I made videos about. And if you like this video or one of the others I made, then consider subscribing to the channel to get more videos going. Tired of rage quitting? take a break, go check the stuff I post on my social media. Ashes to ashes, I'll catch you on the next.